The care that helps you be the best you just got stronger. Healthcare Partners is now Optum, and our doctors are advancing a simple idea that your healthcare can be more personalized, more compassionate, and more convenient. Healthcare Partners is now Optum. Healthcare made stronger. To learn more, visit Optum.com/California or click the ad. Optum and Optum Care are trademarks of Optum Incorporated.
You're supposed to have 3 square meals a day. Thankfully, there's 3 varieties of Wiener Schnitzel's new tater scoops. Delicious scoop-shaped fried potatoes, each with its own savory toppings. There's double cheese tater scoops, covered with ooey-gooey cheese sauce and zesty shredded cheddar. Then try the chili cheese tater scoops, with hot and hearty chili and cheddar. And there's cheesy bacon tater scoops, smothered in cheese sauce, grilled onions, and crispy bacon. Upgrade your fries to Wiener Schnitzel's new tater scoops, and you'll never miss a meal again.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a morning update. You know, it amazes me that every single location where Jeffrey Epstein had a residence has been raided. That is, every residence besides Zorro Ranch. How is it that still to this day that Zorro Ranch has not been raided? What exactly is going on in New Mexico? What are they doing? What is Attorney General Balderas actually doing in regards to the Jeffrey Epstein case? It sure seems like nothing. I know that for a fact if Jeffrey Epstein was part of a cartel, every single one of his homes would have been raided at the same exact time. Why didn't that occur in this case? Why did it seem to be that only New York and the location in Palm Beach and the Virgin Islands were raided? Why wouldn't the federal government or even the local government of New Mexico raid this place? Especially considering we know for a fact that heinous crimes were committed at Zorro Ranch. We know this for a fact. Not only have the survivors come out and said so, we have tons of corroborating witnesses at this point, and I myself went down to New Mexico for 4 days in February and talked to numerous sources about this whole entire situation at Zorro Ranch. Ex-law enforcement, somebody who worked at the airport, somebody who did deliveries at Santa Fe Institute. So I went down there and I looked people in the eye and I talked to people myself. So I 100% know what occurred down there at Zorro Ranch, and I know how disgusting it was, and I also know that all of the locals were hip to what was going on in Santa Fe. When I got to Santa Fe that first day, and I got to my hotel, and I talked to the lady who was checking me in, she had been working at this place for 25 years, and her and I got to talking about what I was doing in Santa Fe, blah, 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 blah. Well, it came up that I was there as a independent content creator / independent journalist looking for information about Jeffrey Epstein and his activities within New Mexico. Well, her eyes got as big as saucers, and the first thing that she said to me, she said, "Oh yeah, we all know that something's going on down there, and we all know that Jeffrey Epstein's disgusting, but nobody here wants to do anything about it." And I've talked about it several times, about the fact that New Mexico has this shroud of secrecy over it in the best of times, and then you add to the fact that Jeffrey Epstein showed up there with a pocket full of money and started doling it out to all of these politicians. It's not too big of a stretch to imagine why the New Mexico ranch still has not been raided. And that is the question I have today. Why has Zorro Ranch been left untouched by the federal government? It's a question that nobody will answer. I've sent emails to the Attorney General in New Mexico. I've sent emails to detectives. I've sent emails all over the place, and nobody wants to answer any questions. So if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast and you happen to work in law enforcement in New Mexico, shoot me an email and let's talk. Because from the sources that I have so far and the people I have talked to personally when I was in New Mexico, it is 100% guaranteed that there is some serious nonsense going on within New Mexico. And it needs to be brought to light. It needs to be talked about more. And when you just even do a simple Google search of Jeffrey Epstein, New Mexico, there is hardly any new news ever about what's going on down there. And that is just unacceptable in my opinion. So today, we're going to revisit Zorro Ranch and New Mexico. And we're going to read an article from the Albuquerque Journal that says that New Mexico was a location used, meaning that New Mexico was a place where crimes were committed, yet we have no investigations. You have to ask yourself why. And then the cynic in you just has to turn your eyes and take a look at Bill Richardson and the King family, and I'm pretty sure you'll get all the answers you're looking for. All right, this article, like I said, is from the Albuquerque Journal. Headline, New Mexico was a location used. Author, Mark Oswald. In a new court filing in Florida, plaintiff's lawyers maintain that a woman identified as Jane Doe 3, we know who that is now, said to have been coerced into Epstein's camp when she was 15 years old, was frequently sexually abused by Epstein, not only in West Palm Beach, Florida, but also in New York, New Mexico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, in international airspace, and on Epstein's private planes, and elsewhere. So right there alone, we have a survivor talking about the fact that she was abused in New Mexico. And we know now that that is Virginia. So again, the point of this update is to ask the question why. Why is there no legal proceedings in New Mexico? And why was the Zorro Ranch never raided? The same filing also alleges that Jane Doe 3 was forced by Epstein to have sex with famous attorney and Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz numerous times, again at locations around the world, including New Mexico. Again, folks, it's very important, and we have to really dig deep into this New Mexico connection. And Jen and Lisa are working on some stuff that has to do with New Mexico right now. They're, doing good work. And I feel it's a very, very important area of this story that is not getting the attention it deserves. It gets lost in all of the hype around New York and Palm Beach and the Virgin Islands. But folks, I'm telling you right now, there is a story to be told in New Mexico. And if it wasn't for this stupid-ass pandemic, I'd be packing my shit up and heading back down for another few days to get to the bottom of it as much as I possibly can. Because I have this nagging feeling that there is something in New Mexico to discover that is going to blow the lid right off of this case. And I have spent a lot of time and a lot of resources in the area, and I will continue to do so, and I will continue to pull this curtain back because there's a lot going on there, folks. There is a lot going on. You add to the fact all of the missing indigenous girls in the area, and you have to ask the hard questions. What the hell is going on in New Mexico, and why do the law enforcement agents there not give a goddamn? Epstein owns or has owned a 26,700 square foot mansion near Stanley, south of Santa Fe, on 10,000 acres known as Zorro Ranch. The court filings don't say where specifically in New Mexico the alleged assaults took place. Now remember, this is an article from 5 years ago. So we have the benefit of hindsight, and we have the benefit of Monday morning quarterbacking this. And that's why I like to pull these older articles, because we get a fresh perspective when we read them again, right? And it's important to add it to the catalog. It's an important part of the story. And the fact of the matter is, we know now that these assaults took place at Zorro Ranch. According to all the witness statements, according to everything we've heard from the survivors, these assaults definitely took place at Zorro Ranch. But Dershowitz went on NBC's Today Show Monday to denounce the allegations and said that Jane Doe 3 accuses him of having sex with her at Epstein's ranch in New Mexico. The allegations are totally false and made up, he said. Dershowitz, who represented Epstein and said he'd only been at the ranch once for about an hour with friends and his wife and daughter. Epstein wasn't present, and there were no girls around, Dershowitz said. Okay, folks, look, again, I'm calling bullshit here, Mr. Mr. Dirty Dershowitz, Mr. I kept my underpants on, so I'm all good Dershowitz. I am calling bullshit. You went to the Zorro Ranch for 1 hour? I've been there. You say you went there, and Jeffrey Epstein wasn't there? Then why did you go? Furthermore, your wife and your daughter were with you at Zorro Ranch for 1 hour? What were you doing there? And why do all of these sick, depraved bastards bring their families up all the time? It is beyond the pale how these disgustoids involve their families. Joe Exotic of the Windsor family bringing his daughters in. This clown Dershy Dersh bringing in his wife and his kid. Jess Staley doing the same. What is with all of these sick bastards? The filing also alleges Jane Doe 3 was forced into sex with Great Britain's Prince Andrew with no connection to New Mexico. Incorrect. The case has attracted international news coverage, and Buckingham Palace calls the allegations categorically untrue. We can 100% say that Andrew was at Zorro Ranch. I know my sources confirmed it. We have the other sources that have confirmed about the neurosurgeon, and we have Scully talking about it. So we have several people, all right, who have confirmed that the Joe Exotic of the Windsor family most certainly had been to New Mexico, and there's pictures of him with Bill Richardson at some event in Santa Fe. You mean to tell me he went to New Mexico and didn't go down to his buddy Jeffrey Epstein's ranch? Yeah, okay. Dershowitz also filed a motion to intervene in the Florida case, calling the allegations nothing more than a vehicle to impugn the reputation of Professor Dershowitz, filed with the certain result of stirring up media interest. I mean, he's absolutely disgusting. I don't know how many times I can say this about Dirty Dersh, but this guy is a complete scuzzball. He just gives me the skeeves looking at him. Every time he talks, I get the skeeves. Every time I look at him, I get the skeeves. Everything about him just screams disgusting. The new filings came in a long-running litigation accusing federal prosecutors of striking a sweetheart deal on charges against Epstein for having sex with underage girls. Epstein served 13 months for procuring a person under the age of 18 for prostitution in 2008 and is a registered sex offender. Well, we all know that there's no such thing as procuring a person under the age of 18 for prostitution, because if you're under the age of 18, you cannot be a prostitute. I know that's just crazy for some people to wrap their mind around, but here we are. Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County is on land he purchased from the family of former Attorney General and gubernatorial candidate Gary King. And we've talked about this forever. The Kings are the kingmakers in New Mexico. They have a lot of power, they have a lot of land, and they most certainly have a relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein had made news previously in New Mexico. He twice attempted to contribute to King's campaigns, but King returned the money. King received $15,000 from Epstein in 2006 when King first ran for Attorney General, and $35,000 from companies connected to Epstein for his gubernatorial campaign this year. Also in 2006, Epstein gave $50,000 to the re-election campaign of then-Governor Bill Richardson. Richardson said he'd then give the money he received from an Epstein-affiliated company, Zorro Trust, to local charities. And you notice it makes no mention of Bill Richardson in this article and the fact that he is being credibly accused of abusing Virginia as well. See, in New Mexico, Bill Richardson still has some protectors. He still has some friends in the legacy media that are offering protection for him. And it's a travesty that there are not more articles penned about Bill Richardson and his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. But as we continue to explore New Mexico, the veil of secrecy that hangs over it, and the fact that it still has not been raided or investigated properly, we will also be talking at length about Bill Richardson and his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. Inside of the description box, you will find a link to the article, and you will also find a link to the GoFundMe if you would like to help the podcast. All right, everybody, we'll be back later on tonight with the Daily Drop.
The care that helps you be the best you just got stronger. Healthcare Partners is now Optum, and our doctors are advancing a simple idea that your healthcare can be more personalized, more compassionate, and more convenient. Healthcare Partners is now Optum. Healthcare made stronger. To learn more, visit Optum.com/California or click the ad. Optum and Optum Care are trademarks of Optum Incorporated.
You know what this is?
A commercial?
Right, and you know what that means.
Time for a snack?
Wrong. I want you to do some heart-healthy exercise. Yes, you! Try some seated leg extensions right now. Just lift each leg up and extend it straight, one at a time, 6 to 8 times.
I can do that.
Yes, you can. Remember, every commercial is a chance to sneak in heart-healthy activity. Visit findexerciseanywhere.com and speak with your doctor to learn more about the risks of heart failure.